Peace and blessings, y'all. As you already know, I burn a candle for each and every one of you. Because your life is just like this flame. There it is. It symbolizes you. And I hope wherever you are, wherever your feet are grounded, it spawns growth. But you got to be true to this flame. That's right. Yeah. Bump what you heard. Bump what's outside your door. Because it matters not until you go outside in it. So you got to be prepared, right? You got to make sure that your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. But to do that, y'all, you got to be you. So I'm going to, as always, light a candle for you. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Jero. It is November 1st. I hope that those who are recovering from a fun-filled night, that it was very eventful, positive, and it was spawned by many memories that you will hold on for a very, very long time. But I'm putting this video out on for a couple reasons, and I'm trying not to be winded. I really don't do, you know me. Because see, I see your worth so much. Sometimes it's hard for me to turn the volume down, end it. So I'm gonna try to keep it on point. But see, I'm a slave to my spirit. Because see, I know I'm a spiritual vessel, and I know that just like the old slogan for E.F. Hutton, when he talks, I'm listening. Because I know without him in front of all my endeavors, my dreams and aspirations will be nothing but that. And I know that I have a whole lot of love in life to embody and embrace. So I need to be prepared. Each step, each motion, I must stay grounded and focused. So I do it for you. That's right. I do it for you. So y'all, I woke up this morning, jumped on Google Plus. For those who've never seen my video, my name is Gerald Davis. I'm a life coach, but more importantly, I'm just like you. And if this is the first time you've seen my video, welcome. And I hope that whatever you may be seeking, you find it. Because all you're going to find here is nothing but love, y'all. Nothing but love, because you deserve it. And all I'm going to do is speak my truth. So, how you been? Did you guys have fun last night? I hope so. I hope you guys were safe. Those who may have spent their time with their babies, make sure you do a once over those treats out there. Not saying everybody's bad, but you know what? Every now and then there's always a wolf in sheep's clothing trying to bring despair in your life, and the devil's a liar. So, just look over it one more time. It might be something that you may have overlooked or second guessed and wasn't sure that may save you unnecessary grief. So, I jumped on social media. Jumped on Google Plus. For those who don't know, I also have a Google Plus channel as well, Gerald Davis. And I saw a meme of, I think it was Into Wisdom. If it is, hey, what's going on? And he made a significant point in regards to, it was an illustration of the show Empire. Now, before people start hitting me over the head, I'm going to be honest first, right off the bat. I don't watch the show. I don't. Even though I've heard that has a lot of support, but I don't watch the show. Just like I say about 75–80% of what is on TV, I don't watch. I know somebody said, well, why is that, Gerald? How is that the case? The reason I don't watch it is because I don't want to support something that is blatantly holding our society back. There's a lot of there's a lot of misogynistic stuff out there. There's a lot of blatant misdirection going on, as well as I also know that because of the young and the impressionable, people 9 times out of 10 emulate what they see and hear. They do that, or better yet, it would not exist if it did not generate revenue. Remember that, y'all. If there's no means to make some money, ain't nobody gonna waste time on that, because that's the end game. Can I put a spot on that? Can I convince you to take your hard-earned money to support this product? Now, it's no secret that now standards that once were are starting to take a back seat. The entities that were responsible for that, to oversee that, seems like they're turning a blind eye, or they do not have enough manpower to do the job. So now you're starting to see a lot of household goods that are found on your shelf, found in your shopping cart, or actually found in the back of your mind. You're saying, how is that something found in the back of my mind, Gerald? Why are you going to bring that up? It's simple. See, everything has a vibration. Follow me now. And we also know that is an emotional trigger. Do you find it ironic that when you go to your favorite establishment to buy your goods and services, you notice there's a certain color scheme? Unlike they weren't doing that before. Yes, they said, well, you know, if we add colors, it makes the volume bigger, the space bigger. In some areas, they will turn around and they have reduced the products that they carry, but made the aisles wider. There are places where you would find a brand of choice and you would have 10, 15 different types. But because of the fact that the economy cannot tighten its belt, they're saying, hey, we are going to reduce that now because we can't afford the waste, unlike before. See, we as a society nowadays are starting to wake up. We're starting to be more responsible and more appreciative of what comes out of our wallet. Some of us are starting to become more financially responsible. Now, granted, those who are sound in their investments, those who have done the work. I kind of look at these last 10, 15 years in a parable I always kind of reference of the grasshopper and the ant. If you remember that story, the grasshopper, all he did was play. And every time he came around the ant was always building, always planning, always doing the work. But then it wasn't until going through these seasons while the sun was out, warm, and the grasshopper is just frolicking around, the ant was still persevering till the winter came, when there was nothing out there. And unfortunately, there was nothing for the grasshopper to eat. Unfortunately, that grasshopper died. Under the snow, in a little burrow, you found the ant. He had everything that he had already invested from them hard days. But you know what else what he had there too? He had the grasshopper. Some of you will get that. So now we're in that. We're a lot of people are starting to wake up and they're starting to see like, hey, that dollar doesn't stretch as long as it used to. And so what's going on? You're starting to see replacement products, or products they may look like what you recognize, but the quality is substandard. You're going to start to understand now, for those who've done their homework or may have caught wind of it, that a lot of products that were originally from the United States are not. A lot of things are now being outsourced because it's cheaper, even though brand identity is recognized from good old USA. If you look at the packaging, it may say Korea. It may say China. It may say Guatemala. I'm using these for example. But with that being said, you have to put this in equation. Their health standards are not like ours. So when you go shopping and you see that incredible deal on something, you're like, wow, I can get one of these normally for $7.99, but now I can get 3 of those for $8.99, and you got this abundance of those, and what do? You go for the deal. Well, maybe the deal is to convince you to buy it. Maybe the deal is to get you enslaved in that, because the payout is going to be your health. So what I'm asking each and every one of you to do is try to be cognitive when you go shop. Just take a second. Look at what you're putting in your cart, because these are going to be the things that you're going to take home and you're going to consume. For those who have families, your babies are going to consume. And just be cognitive of this. Because it's a deal doesn't mean it's good for you. Think about it. So don't tighten your belt so much that you skimp out on your health. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. For those who can relate. For those, you might have your favorite spot that you go and get your chicken dinner. Remember that moment where you say, I'm not going to the commercial place. You go over there and the drumstick look like a turkey leg. And you're like, where do they get these chickens from? Why is that chicken got a bicep on it? You're like, where all this meat coming from? You gotta wonder what that chicken consumed. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna sit up here and waste time trying to pump negative energy into how you spend your money, because at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do. But let's look at it for what it is. What, no more than 10 years ago, we had a pandemic of people suffering from type 2 diabetes and cholesterol issues and hypertension, and that plagued the media. You saw that every day. Now people are starting to become more health conscious, and guess what? The jig is up. Those tactics that once had emphasis on generations prior. They're saying, well, you know what? This generation here, they're more tech savvy, so they may do the work. I got to make sure that, I got to make sure that I catch them slipping. Something to think about. Now, hold that thought 1 second, because what you don't see is Tyson is over here, and he's doing what he ain't supposed to do, and I got to put him in the count. Give me 15 seconds. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Go ahead and get the count. That's why you get the count. You're doing what you're not supposed to do. All right. So, all right. So let's talk about media, y'all. If anybody that has watched my videos know my position on having social responsibility and how that is very important. You've actually even heard in the last 15 years, I'll even say maybe 20, where you've heard instances where there have been criminal cases and the defendant has used the platform of, well, I heard this or I saw that, only to not be exempt. But I also believe that there is a correlation, because whatever you take in is what you're going to put out if you don't understand what it is. So what I'm getting at is this. If you look at what is being deemed as entertainment now, these are the same things that would have been, by all means, never considered 5 years ago. It's no surprise every year there is someone proverbially dropping the gauntlet, and when it comes to attacking the moral fiber, there's always going to be somebody. I know you're saying, well, why is that, Gerald? Because, unfortunately, these people have low self-esteem, and these people have a price. Yeah, I understand there's somebody saying, well, Gerald, at the end of the day, we all must take responsibility for our actions. I agree. That's what free will is all about. But that also goes, I can also say, that's why you hear each one teach one. So if I'm teaching you something that's not good for you and you embrace it and you react to it, or you turn around and someone is influenced from you and so forth, so forth, shouldn't the person that was the illustration hold some responsibility? So let's go here. I'm going there. How you doing, my queens? How are you going? If you look at the media in regards to imagery of women, it's not in a positive light. I know there are going to be some that will debate that, because they said, well, you know what? We are in a time where there is social empowerment, Gerald. There's a liberation going on so that women can have a voice. Well, guess what? You've always had that voice. But the question is, did you know you? I'm not talking about the person who walks the street. I mean, out in the public. I'm talking about the little girl inside you. I'm talking about that beautiful soul that wakes up every morning and looks in that mirror Because, see, you know, the reflection looking back is a keeper of your truth. And unfortunately, keeper of your secrets if you have them. See, you can fool them, but you can't fool you. And some of y'all have been trying for the last 25 years to figure a way around it. But guess what? Until you allow yourself to ground your feet, you're going to keep catching the same problems more and more. And I think some of y'all know that because it hasn't gotten any better. It's gotten worse. I know that needs to go out to somebody. But I say it out of love, y'all. Because at the end of the day, there is no social responsibility. And it's kind of funny because, and I say this figuratively, because it contradicts everything as a whole. Look at the family structure. Let's be honest now, look at it. The family structure today is fragmented. It's fragmented and there's no core. The father is emasculated. The mother. She's trying to hold it together, but in the process, still trying to figure out who she is. That's why you see grandma in the club. Grandma in the club. But then again, I understand that nowadays, grandma could be 31. But you think the society doesn't have an influence on that? Because, see, I know that as long as the boob tube, as the senior baby boomers used to call it, they know that as long as they put, you know, television is nothing but propaganda, right? You do know that, right? It is. It's out there to sway your judgment. Don't believe me? Think of it this way. Why is it that when you see a story or something that catches your eye and you do not do the research under it, you automatically build an opinion around it? Just like the internet. Because you see it on the internet doesn't mean it's true. So that goes back to you. How much is your life worth? How about your self-respect, self-esteem? The things that make you you. Because, see, there'll never be another you. That's why your life is priceless. But, see, I also know this. See, I also know that some people have a love affair with their denial because it hurts too much to take accountability of the truth. So yes, they'll spend half their life trying to build an illusion that will fall. It's gonna fall. Let's go biblically. How's the scripture going? I'm paraphrasing because I'm a babe of Christ, just you. But one of the scriptures says, never build your house on the sand. Build it on the rock. The rock is your foundation. But society wants not only for you to build your life on sand, but they want to put it on quicksand. Because when the foundation starts to shift, when the foundation starts to sway, they don't want you to catch your footing. They don't want you to be aware. They want you to keep proverbially grabbing that straw of hope. So in other words, the moment that the awareness does come, they don't want you to reset it. They want you to accept it. That's why I show so much compassion to you, my queens. Because if you look in the television, 85% of what is not in your interest is splashed on prime time, and the things that matter most, you gotta find that in the wee morning. Why is that? Because they don't want to keep you informed. That's why PBS and BBC and NTR and channels like that will never get the recognition or the props that it does, because there is information there. So your life will only go as far as your knowledge will take you. So, yes, it is about that dollar. They don't want you to know what you need to know, because if you knew what you needed to do, not only would you make better decisions for your life, but you would be able to identify the things that are your emotional triggers. You will see the correlation in why you spend the money you do and how you do. Come on, Queens, let's look at it from a logical sense. I know you like looking good. That's why you are God's gift to man. You are the wildflowers to the earth. But if you're not good inside, guess what? How long do you think the exterior is going to hold up? That is like someone taking a bucket of $2 paint and putting it on this wall. How long do you think it's going to hold up? It's not. So it's very important that we all invest in ourselves, ground our feet, look at the things that matter, and let's look at the things that are honestly distractions. Is it any surprise that every time that you do see a female presence that is placed on the screen, she is either a prostitute, she is a seductress, she is not intelligent, and she is a manipulator. All in all, she does not see her worth. All in all, she is expendable physically, emotionally, and socially. Or worse, she is used as a tool for someone else's demise. And unfortunately, there is some little girl, some grown woman that will see this or hear something that will cause them to stare, and they say inside them, "You're just like me." So that's why they say imitation is flattery. But guess what? There's only one you, and that makes you priceless. So it's very important that you see your worth. Now's the time that you take the time, look at the small print. You know, I always say the fix is in. But the fix cannot hold any weight or validity if you are grounded. Someone put a post out the other day on one of the social media sites, because I use some of the social media that I put as a means to put my videos out as well as my poetry. Yes, I'm a poet. That was something that I've been a poet almost all my life, ever since I was 10. That was one of the things that helped me through my pain, because even though I did not know how to verbally express myself, in my heart, it transcended all. Yes. So to my poets, to my artists, to my creator, my creative souls, never squander your gift and empower it. That might be the one thing that is going to be the emotional salve on that wound. But you must first acknowledge that wound exists. And the more and more that you look at it, that's why I tell everybody, ground your feet, go in that emotional backpack, look at those pains. Because the moment, as long as you keep not acknowledging that those wounds exist, your life is only going to play out a certain way. You're not going to be free of that burden. because it will require you to be vulnerable with yourself. So if you're not vulnerable with yourself, how can you speak your truth? And if you can't speak your truth, how can you make sound decisions? And if you can't make sound decisions, how can you see your worth? We only have one life, y'all. And I'm going to tell you what, unfortunately, there are those people that will stop at no cost to make a buck off you. Your soul's not for sale, nor is your life. Why do you think God put in the scripture, your body is a temple? Because it starts with you. And anything you put outside that temple door, which is your being, everything you put out, guess what? It will come back. Trust and believe when I tell you that. Come on now. Nobody gets a free pass. You're actually here to do a job. That's why they say each one teach one. You might not realize that right now. We all have a purpose. You might not know. You may be the teacher of the unborn, people that ain't even born yet, and they're relying on the person you're going to become. I know that needs to go out to somebody. I know somebody right now, you're saying, Gerald, when is the one coming? The one will not be revealed until you become one with yourself. No, you cannot speed up the process by sleeping around. Because you might attract them, but they're going to all do the same. They're going to leave. Why? Because they were never supposed to be there. And guess what? A piece of your spirit goes with them, and a piece of their spirit is inside you. That is why we know it is karma. I know it is divine intervention, because that means you still have work. We all have work to do, y'all. We all have work. But, you know how they say in the old commercial spots, what's in your wallet? See, you already know brand identity. They use that. That's why jingles were so successful. Now you can just play part of a song and automatically you know brand identity. This is to set up consumer loyalty. You may have been raised and there were certain brands in your family's pantry, closet, whatever. And you said, well, why do you buy that? Well, I was raised on that. Well, why do you think your parents bought that? They might have bought it because it was cost effective, or they may have bought it because of word of mouth or a jingle. At the end of the day, there's somebody sitting at a table saying, I'm counting up my chips. This is the foundation of what we know as supply and demand. So what's at stake? Your health, your finances, your direction. Queens, I'm about to shut this off, but I'm going to tell you what. You are created with a beneficial gift of nurturement. That's why you're called woman. And I'm not saying all, but some, a lot. You are seeing, I know that there's a pressure going on of acceptance because you're seeing all the negative and you're saying, man, why are they glorifying the, you got to understand, right, that those people that you see that are being illustrated, even though they got the biggest smile, they're the most broken. And you will come to see in time, one by one, when they cannot use them, because these are all puppets, y'all. You do understand that, right? That's why people change. I ain't got to tell you, look at some of the people that were on commercial spots all the time. And 5 years ago, they're not out there now. They got a younger, more influential cast of characters. But guess what? Even still, you would think now in a technological age, there would be more awareness, right? No. They're the most impressionables too. So guess what? I'm going to use you to attract them. Come on, queens. Why is it that your fashions look like you just came off a pole? More revealing. Why? Because even commercially, they figured out if I can get you to dress provocatively, your presence is going to influence him to pull out his wallet. Yes. That's what's going on because he knows. See, they know that as long as they can manipulate you, they'll get him because he wants you and he wants to keep you in his good graces. So if that means that he got to pay to play, they're going to keep playing with your head. It's the truth. Trust me, he ain't there because of your intellect. But then again, I know society wants you to play the prostitute, and doesn't surprise you that you track nothing but Johns. That's all I'm saying. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, for that, for that, everything you see is not what it is. And see, I also know this. Devil's a liar, and he's going to use everything he can to compromise you. Oh, you got this on lock. You don't believe me? Watch this. You know, look at some of the logos that you find on your cable box, on your cable listing. Some of them are so blatant, they're demonic. Especially two-headed. Yeah, that's hellhounds. Why would you pick that? Yeah, I know. And for that, it helps me discern mine. You can be all right, y'all, because there's going to be a major shift, and those that were last will be first, and those who were first, well, you reap what you sow. Be blessed.